What's up, sassy gamers, and welcome to another SASS Interviews. Today we're joined by Handcrafted Horrors. So I have Jake the Snake and also Ben. There's no crazy nickname for Ben, but welcome to the show, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Along with me, I also have Daydrinker ATL and also Phoenix Nova. So we're going to be drilling you guys with a bunch of questions today. Hope you're ready.
Always.
With questions. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
They're in their senior year of college. Hope you guys studied.
I was like,
exactly.
Very much.
They're in college for game making, not horror film making. So, don't drill them.
On that horror, topic, where did you come up with your studio name? It sounds amazing. I love horror, so let's talk about that first.
She's a scream queen.
I think Jake, you're the one that came up with it, right?
Yeah, I think we were all, it was like a big discussion where we were spitballing ideas like, what should we make it? And I was like throwing out silly names at first, and then we were like, let's go for something that actually makes sense.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Fair.
Love it.
So what's interesting about Handcrafted Horrors and Jake and Ben, there's actually, I think 4 others part of the team. Is
5 total.
5 total. Okay, cool. So one of the neat things is we actually met them at Made in MA, which is an event that we've attended last year. We went to PAX. It's not part of PAX, but it's just an event that is held in Boston for anybody that's from Massachusetts. So there's developers from Massachusetts that are bigger labels or part of different larger conglomerate studios, and then you have a lot of other people there as well, like Handcrafted Horrors and just a lot of other smaller independent developers that are there. And we did get a chance to actually play the game that they were showcasing, which is called the Plaything. Actually, Phoenix played it. I watched over his shoulder. But what's interesting too is that you guys attend MIT and you guys are working towards, your goal. I'm assuming is becoming a full blown game developer, whether it's your own studio or working for another company.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Not MIT, but Fitchburg State University.
Got it. Okay.
Oh.
Sorry.
I wish MIT.
I mean, close.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, we're both majoring in game design. That's what we're passionate about, and that's what, fingers crossed, if all goes to plan, our careers will be.
Yeah. So I guess actually, on that, what is
something that you said earlier, because you said majoring in game design. You said something interesting about what your class was this semester. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So for our final semester, we're both graduating in just a little over a month.
Congratulations.
We had the
Thank you.
opportunity to take this class called Game Studio. It's kind of like an internship, but it's on campus. And it's your only class, and you just spend the whole semester working with other students on making an awesome game.
That's some serious real world experience too, because when you're in your actual job, like that's all you're doing, and you're utilizing all of the years of knowledge in every class that you've taken, little bits and pieces, and bringing it all together. So that's really cool. How's that experience been so far?
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I really like
think it's been awesome.
Hard work. It is a 9 to 5 days a week.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
And you guys aren't doing it right. Like I've heard the stories of studios going like 60 hours a week. So
yeah.
We're specifically, trying not to crunch.
No, that's a fair
good.
point.
That's really good.
So obviously getting into college and you're doing, basically what you guys want to do for the rest of your life. Everybody wants to be, as kids grow up now, especially, a lot of kids watch other gamers and sometimes they play. I don't know what the weird thing is now, but, there's always that dream of becoming a game developer. But a lot of people don't really understand the level of work and dedication and things like that go with that. What is the biggest thing that you would say was before you started college and kind of going down that game track path? What was some of the things that you thought were like, oh yeah, I'll just do this, and then now you're faced with some other challenge? Like, what are some of those examples?
I have an immediate answer for that, and it's it's holy crap. Where do I get my art from?
Okay, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
From right here.
Oh, so you have to design it all yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, a lot of the project, like the smaller projects for classes and whatnot, I worked on like by hand, and I had to like realize that, animating like stuff by hand is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like I have experience with what's the Adobe program? I think it's Flash is the animation one.
Oh yeah, the older one.
That's the oldie but the goodie.
Oh yes,
Macromedia.
Character animator now, I think.
Yeah, they rebranded to something.
Mm. But starting like with that in high school, I was able to transfer some of the stuff over, but it was really just a matter of like honing my artistic skills and making characters that don't look like trash with legs.
Yeah. For me, I've been, programming since I was in middle school. And
what's your language of choice?
At this point, C#, okay, I'll do it a lot of Unity. But I've dipped my toes in many, many things. Programming comes really naturally to me, but the actual process of like game design, like what makes something fun, that is a lot more challenging than it sounds. And that's something that, college has been really helpful with, although, it's hard to teach why something is fun. So a lot of it is just, playing a lot of games, making a lot of games, seeing, what sticks, just practicing until it becomes intuitive.
That sounds tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making so many mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've made a lot of bad games.
Yeah, I mean, failure is one of the stepping stones to success, right?
Yeah.
So you have to learn how to fail to be able to be successful really in anything. But no, Jake, you made a good point. Assets are something a lot of people overlook, and I say this even sparingly. I created what you can consider a game, maybe, like very minimal thing. But yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that I had to cross over too. Like, where do I get assets? Because I'm not an artist. I can't draw. Like, I can't do 3D art, 2D art. So, what I had to do obviously I wasn't trying to put this out publicly to like sell it or anything. So I didn't have to worry about licensing necessarily. But even with that, so let's say I don't have an artist background or I don't have an artist. Like, where are some sources that you can recommend to people that would look for assets? Whether it's free or maybe a site that you can rent from or buy licensed stuff, whatever.
I think one of the better references I can give is honestly the Unity Asset Store. They have a very large library of stuff to choose from, and a lot of it is like really crisp. It's nice. Like the animations are really clean. I personally use a free pixel art designing software for pixel art. It's called Piskel. It's just, you can use it in browser. They have a free download.
Oh.
It's super easy to use, wicked awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, just real quick, what are some of the games that inspired you to want to become developers, game developers specifically?
You first, Ben.
Wow.
Or was there something specific that inspired you?
There definitely was. You could go really far back to like, the old, I grew up with the humongous entertainment, Putt Putt and Pajama Sam. That was my first experience with the computer.
Okay.
But Zelda, The Legend of Zelda, I think has been a pivotal. It's what made me realize like what games can really do. Yeah. In terms of the stories they can tell. Yeah.
What about you, Jake?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
A game that inspired you, that kind of sparked your interest.
Gotcha.
Into...
Jake was just like, Zelda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's all good.
No, I gotta say, I think one of my earliest memories of playing a game and being like, I want to make something like this, was probably Donkey Kong 64 or Super Mario 64.
Nice.
Just really good classic, like,
yes.
level based progression, like, collect stuff, have a good old time. Discover bugs. Yeah, discover bugs and then backwards long jump 18 million times up the stairs and speed run the game in 3 minutes. So
there you go.
Oh yeah.
So can you walk us through? I'm sure that I know so many kids right now who are like, when I grow up, I want to be a game developer. But so we've all gone through college. We know it's like the stepping stones and the classes build off of each other. But what was the first thing? Did you think you're just going to like jump into animating and coding, or were you like, oh, I have to take these prerequisite classes first? What did you have to take to even get your foot in the door?
So the course that every freshman at Fitchburg State for the game design program that they are like required to take is called Elements of Game Design. Okay. And that's like a very bare bones, like board and card game, like design class. Like we had to make a checkers mod. So like just checkers, but with like a variation to it. And then we had to make our own board games, and then we had to make like individual board games. So like when I mean like we had to make our own board games, we formed groups, made a game, and then we had to make an individual board game.
Okay.
And one of the great checkers mod, like you change all the pieces to these like formed pieces, and they have different ways that they move. I'm going to call it Hess.
I was thinking the same thing. I was also thinking battle checkers, where you like fight to the death or something.
Yeah, that'd be funny if you just turned in chess as the mod, like we modified checkers.
Exactly.
I have a funny quick segue about that. The checkers mod that my team and I ended up making was at a spaceship variation where you use the checker pieces to shoot at each other.
Nice.
And we called it Shipwreckers, and as I guess a joke, we've been throughout college, like a few select students have been making Shipwreckers games that have been adding to like this long running series. And it's like we're doing like a whole.
I love that.
Yeah, we're doing.
I never knew the origin of that. Yeah, I played many of them.
It's a cult classic. Yeah. Didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
It's all my fault.
I'm hearing that. It's like a repeated thing. I'm starting to notice.
Right, so this final class, can you kind of walk us through what the objective is and the different milestones that you've come across or surpassed?
Yeah. So yeah, the goal is to mainly emulate what it's like working at a real studio.
Except the crunch.
Except the crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we started the semester all individually working on game pitches. And after I think it was like 2 weeks,
something like that,
we everyone presented their pitch for a game, and we voted on what should be made, and then we picked whatever one we thought would be good to work on out of those.
So you picked the Plaything.
Yes.
So specifically you, because I believe, so your title is co-producer, Ben, speaking of, yes. Co-producer, lead engineer, and narrative designer. So it's kind of tough being a producer, right? Like having to be the one to kind of make decisions as a collective group. What is that experience like? Because, I mean, obviously you had a team of 5, at least in this one, but all these people, you may have worked with them before or not, but coming to a project where, everybody's pitching everything and then you have to select one. and now you have to work together. Like how is that? What kind of challenges did you face, or were there any challenges like faced with working with new people and new ideas and things like that?
Let's see. I don't think we have worked together in the past.
I can attest to that. I think this is the first time we've ever worked together.
I had before. In terms of being co-producer, it definitely is challenging. The Plaything was not my pitch. It took a hot minute to get over that. But I've embraced it, and I work with Tina, and it was her pitch to kind of the vision and the scope of the game has changed dramatically from the pitch. So, and the five of us really have formed a entirely unique vision of what this game is.
So tell us a little bit about the game. Tell us about the Plaything.
Yeah.
So what would you like to know?
Everything.
Well, I'm being an advocate for the audience that doesn't know anything about it is right now. I played it a little bit, so I know a little bit.
But, I did too.
But
bullet points.
Pitch the game a little bit. Yeah.
It's a point and click horror light, I guess you could say, puzzle game about the dichotomy between there's a cardboard dollhouse sitting in a child's bedroom, and there are puzzles in both, puzzles that interact between these two discrete but connected spaces. For the demo, it was just the dollhouse.
Although there was always that button that pulled out and you could see it from the outside, so you had that sense that there was something more.
Yeah.
I can tell you, playing it, the point and click was interesting because at first when I sat down, it felt like a typical adventure game where you're clicking and you're going on to the next scene. But then I actually realized that the two-dimensional cutout character that you're playing would go wherever I clicked within the map, which hilariously led to a couple of unknown features, let's call them.
Undocumented features.
Undocumented features. Yes, the closet was a fun one that really caused the camera to go interesting. But it was this sense of freedom that you don't normally have in an adventure puzzle game, where it felt a lot more like, maybe there's something different that can happen. And I also enjoyed a lot of the controls. I know in the demo that I played, which is very, very early and mostly experimental, one of the things was like the safe. The safe wasn't a puzzle. Also, by the way, some of the stuff drove Daydrinker nuts because
that made me a little bit crazy. It was like, is it the numbers on the clock? Is it?
Yeah.
I forgot to tell her that there was some stuff in there that was just like, we're trying to make sure we know how to move the dial smoothly, and it wasn't actually a puzzle.
I was like, I got so stuck.
Sorry.
That's okay.
No.
I get stuck all the time. It's totally fine.
But I did appreciate the smoothness, a lot of those controls. And I also appreciated, and I don't know how much Jake had to do with this, because Jake said is one of the artists, does a lot of the 2D and animation, but just the almost psychotically disturbed crayon scrawls across the walls and the floors, and it just, the mood that it set was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, Kaylin is our lead 3D modeler, and she does a lot of the texturing for the 3D models. So I'm doing texturing for the 2D, they're called 2D cutouts, but they're it's a 3D model essentially, but
it's just a real flat one. So it actually looks like something that a child would make with cardboard, because it does have edge on it. Has a little bit of depth, like it's cardboard.
Yeah, it's basically like a board game piece that's like a cardboard one that has a little stand. Like it's similar to that. Like, you know.
But Kaylin's idea for the crayon scribblings was that she was gonna texture this dollhouse to make it look like just like a cardboard box, and then she sent us each a file in a Substance Painter that we each like drew on and colored in ourselves.
Oh, so cool. That's neat collaboration.
The non-artists with our non-existent skill, really embodied the childlike artistic ability.
I love that.
That's really super cool.
So when the game is complete, are you going to be? Is it going to be something that we can play on itch.io, or is this just your project and we're gonna have to wait?
I think the tentative plan is to polish it up and make it playable, fully.
Okay.
We'll have more than a demo, but like I don't know, 75% of the game by the end of the semester. We're gonna put the finishing touches on it over the summer, I think. But the ultimate plan, we're all proud of the work we've done. We're gonna put it on the itch. Might put our heads together, put it on Steam.
Very cool. Very cool.
So you mentioned Unity, and being a programmer, I'm sure that you're familiar with Unreal Engine 5 and some of the new capabilities that it's doing.
It's amazing.
And there was an announcement recently that Epic made about Fortnite, about the new creator mode that's coming with Unreal Engine 5. And some of the footage looked absolutely outstanding. I mean, like literally putting Call of Duty style gameplay or even an adventure style gameplay into Fortnite. What are some things that kind of excite you from a programming sense, like for using Unreal 5 and just the ability that even like Fortnite's bringing in for people who want to develop?
I think it's amazing. We have these things that are, like Scratch and Roblox, and you can do a lot with Roblox nowadays. Getting typically
paid.
More junior developers some experience. Mostly, that design experience, less of I don't know. I haven't personally used Roblox. Maybe some more like professional looking scripting experience.
I have seen some actual cool looking things on Roblox. So if people put their time into it, it's amazing.
So the Fortnite, the new Fortnite Unreal editor, something like that, Creative 2.0, is kind of like the next evolution of that, where Fortnite is very popular with kids, and they want
and also
to
adults.
make their and also and adults. I am one of those adults,
and it also provides. We need to talk later. No, the cool thing was what it did is it provided this rich treasure trove of assets.
Yes,
because you could use like all the assets that they had already developed, and you could use assets that other people had developed. They're going to set it up so that Jake, you could create something, you could put it on their store, and if people use your asset, then you might get it's like 50% of blah usage or something like that. That's pretty big. I mean, how does that make you feel? Like, were you like, oh, I could be a game developer, or I could just be this kind of freelance artist and let my work do the the passive income, as it were. Passive, you had to work for it.
I mean, let's see. I think it's amazing, really. Like the ability to, or giving people the ability to create assets for a video game that they necessarily wouldn't see themselves like being able to make something for it's awesome. It's like, to me, that's the equivalent of like making a mod for Skyrim at like 12 years old. or something like that.
And that's a good point, because like the biggest difference, because I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're not familiar with Fortnite or familiar with the creative mode, like they've had a creative mode in the game for years now, and a lot of people have made customized levels and all these different, like even escape rooms and things, but ultimately it's still Fortnite. It's still the same assets, and all you're really doing is kind of making a map. You couldn't really change the logic of the game. Now with, like you said, the Creative 2.0, they're kind of giving people like you and me and everybody the ability to kind of create a new theme, a new mission, new everything, a new game. So that to me is really interesting, because like you said, it's kind of like the future, right? Like now we're at the next step where we're going to start seeing these new creators kind of creating things that we would have never thought before.
Well, and I think that's what the question is, because we like showcase Jake saying, "Hey, Jake, but the question is like, okay, they got that for the art side. Are they going to have that flexibility on the code side? Is someone like Ben going to be able to be like, I can solve this problem in a new way and I can publish it out there so people can use my module to do blah and just plug this right in your game?" Whether that's something like a new, new way to do an effect or physics, or even something like, optimized netcode, or like a server room where you go and you find other games that are out there, and matchmaking is what I'm thinking of. I mean, how excited would you be about that, Ben?
It's definitely exciting. I don't think I personally could ever be satisfied just providing tools for others. I need to have I need my creative juices to flow as well.
The closure.
Yeah. But it is very exciting for those people that maybe like Jake are more of the asset side and less of the coding side. They'll have Unreal Asset Store, and they can Unreal has blueprinting, which is great, which is a visual coding system like Scratch, but just way more advanced.
Excellent. So Daydrinker kind of mentioned this earlier, but so this game is a project that you're working on for your class, your final class. But are you guys kind of thinking to continue working on this? I know you said you want to polish it and get it finished, but are you thinking you're going to keep making this game and keep updating it, and like you said, potentially get it on Steam? Are you going to try to keep it updating, new DLC, new content? Right. Expand the team. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think we want it to be a full live service thing, but we'll definitely
no expansions, no DLC. What the fuck?
Yeah. We do have, there's 5 of us, and there were 4 other great pitches that didn't get chosen. Oh. So I think that's probably what our future holds.
Other future projects, yeah, definitely. Yes. That does sound exciting.
Well, guys, we typically ask a couple of questions of people that we interview, so I hope you're prepared.
Sure.
Oh boy.
We totally thought a lot on these. No, we did.
Yeah.
So I'll start it off. The first question, like I said, we do ask basically anybody we interview, and it's really just kind of see what you guys think, Yeah. But the first one is, and these are for both of you. So what is your favorite animated character from a game, a movie, cartoon, or comic?
Is this animated, 2D animated, or just
whatever animated character that you want to use?
I'd have to say my current favorite is probably Norse Kratos from the Norse God of War.
Okay.
Game series.
Yeah.
Sweet.
For me, probably it's going to reveal some of my other interests, but Edward Elric from the anime Full Metal Alchemist, one of my favorite anime, is probably just one of my favorite TV shows ever.
Is that Brotherhood, or is it the original?
I love them both, honestly. Brotherhood is better though.
You said it here first. All right.
just a little bit.
Unfortunately, I haven't gone past vanilla, so
Well, we're gonna have to change that if we're gonna have to continue working together.
Absolutely.
All right. So, what game do you play or have you played in the past that you are embarrassed to tell your friends about?
Spoiler, your friends are going to find out.
Yeah.
Oh, very quickly. Yeah. Ben, you wanna start this one?
Well, we kind of already talked about it, but Fortnite.
Okay.
I'm a big fan. I play it all the time. Definitely.
He was
bad
quiet
reputation. But it's just a fun,
guilty
well-made
pleasure.
game. Guilty pleasure, yeah.
So as a young prepubescent high schooler, I was very into anime for the plot, and there was a video. there was a video game series. There was a video game series that is that's very high action, called Senran Kagura, that features rather scantily clad, very voluptuous anime women fighting with weapons. And
hey,
was this a dating sim, or was this just a?
No, it's actually a hack and slash. It kind of plays like Dynasty Warriors, believe it or not.
Oh wow,
nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they had a whole anime girl transformation, like the magical girl thing, except instead of adding clothes, it just removed them.
I love it.
Jake,
yeah,
I need to, and like I said, if friend me in Discord, I need to send you this game and see if you've played it before.
Oh boy.
Apparently this woman, as she transforms, like they almost like Dragon Ball Z, where
you're talking about Legend of Dragoon.
Probably it's
the one that Miran had talked about.
Yeah,
Legends of Dragoon. It was one of the characters.
Dragoon. Check that out.
Like just PlayStation 1 game.
Tell all of your friends you're playing it, by the way.
Yeah. Actually, Legends of Dragoon was really neat. Like they had a weird, well, not weird, it was a different style of fighting for a turn-based action. So like you, sorry to derail here, but as like you go to attack, instead of a turn-based where you say, all right, hit the button and you attack, either you hit or miss, there was a series of like almost like on beat, like a beat game where you have to actually hit like the X button or the square as you're taking the actions to complete the actual like slash, and if you didn't hit those correctly, then like you would miss. So it was a really neat mechanic that they added in that, and that's why I think a lot of people do like this game. It was also 4 discs.
It's also burying the lead that this woman jumps up in the air and starts to transform like she's a persona or like she's going Super Saiyan like from Dragon Ball.
I remember this one.
And she spreads her legs wide and a beam shoots out from between her legs, you can guess. And it just gets bigger and then it like consumes.
It's just like
it draws everybody in and consumes and like turns inside. It's
that sounds like an experience.
It is. It definitely is.
You'll have to YouTube it. It's insane. If I can find the character's name,
or we'll send you the episode of Got Our Attention.
It was 4 discs on PlayStation, and what really pissed me off is I started playing it, got through. I think I finished the first disc and I went to install or put the second disc in. And at that point I'd lost the second disc. So I never played it again. Like it just, I don't know where, I took it to a friend's house and like there was a party and like the next thing I know it was gone. And so I never got to finish the game. Luckily now, there's other ways to play it, but yeah, check that one out.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. If you could eat anywhere in the world, anything anywhere in the world, what and where would it be?
So there's a certain type of pufferfish that is only found in Japan that is incredibly expensive. It is incredibly sweet. Ooh. And it is one of the rarest delicacies that you can have. So much so that it takes years of preparation to make this sushi roll out of this pufferfish, because if you screw up and accidentally poke the toxin gland, all of it gets released in. It's completely tasteless and odorless, so you die pretty much half hour after. So you have to, like, a lot of places that serve this dish have the chef eat it with you. So if they screw up, they die too.
Oh God.
That
the
is
ultimate Russian roulette.
Yeah, that's the opposite of job security. But
I'm a gambler, and if you can't tell, so
we can tell.
Yeah.
Hope it's
Ben's like, God, why am I working with this guy?
Ben, what about you?
I actually have a similar answer. I would. It's actually going to come true because with my school, with Fitchburg State, I will be going to Japan in June.
What?
Nice.
For about 2 weeks. I'm a big fan of sushi, and I'm really looking forward to some like authentic, high quality Japanese sushi.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I love that for you. That I
know
love
how it goes,
sushi
yes.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out when we don't hear from you.
No, I'm not gonna
He's
risk my
not
life
going
or anything.
pufferfish style. He's going straight up sashimi. You know.
I mean, that can mean many things. There was the group that got arrested because they kept dipping their chopsticks into the ginseng.
Oh,
that's not okay.
Yeah, like apparently, like you're not supposed to actually put your chopsticks in. I don't know.
You're not. No,
Okay,
you're
what
not supposed
is
to put
that?
your chopsticks in anything.
I don't know anything about this.
It's a bacterial cross contamination.
No, I mean, what is the ginseng or whatever you said?
It's what you dip the sushi in.
To show you, but
this guy doesn't eat sushi. If you can't tell.
fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm even worse. Okay, so what is a game that you like that you don't think got a fair shake or it was overlooked? Clearly not Fortnite.
No, Fortnite. The
Kind of
opposite
only
of
people
overlooked.
knew about Fortnite. They love
right?
it.
All of you and everyone who watches this should absolutely play Before Your Eyes. It's on Steam. People do really love it, but it has like 9,000 reviews, and it deserves 10 times that. It's really cool.
That sounds familiar.
Has an awesome story. It uses your webcam, and every time you blink in real life, you're like reliving memories. It jumps forward in time whenever you blink.
Dang.
It's really cool.
See, I would be.
Awesome.
So we also do a thing during October we called Shocktober, and we raise money for able gamers. Sorry, a little plug there. But yeah. And one of the things that I typically do is play scary games, and I hate scary games, right? And there was one that they pitched to me that was a literal like VR headset, very similar to that, and it was tracking your eyes, and every time you blink, there was like a room with mannequins, and they would literally like move towards you as you blink. And I was like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. Absolutely not.
Yeah, we are 100% doing that. Oh my gosh.
100% not doing that.
And then you go through the hands and the meat cave. And yeah.
But
because
the webcam sounds a little more interesting. I would be okay with that.
It's on the PS5, and they use the PS5 VR. The PS5 VR has haptics in the headset, so that when something brushes you in the game, it'll kick off the haptics. It feels like something touched your head.
Do you like?
No.
That's you're with me, Jake. I'm with you. You're cool.
Do you like how we changed
like,
this into the games we want to play? Sorry, guys. Okay, and I am totally downloading Before Your Eyes.
Yes, absolutely. It's worth every penny.
Check that out.
Okay.
Going back to Ben, he did say he wants all of us to play it. So
Yeah.
Hey,
Jake,
ask and
what's
you
your
shall
game?
receive.
So it's a little bit of an older game. It's from the early 2000s. It came out on the GameCube and the PlayStation 2. It was a really B to like C+ rated game called I Ninja that had absolutely fantastic one-liners. The dialogue was hilarious. The characters were funny. Like just everything about it was fantastic. And playing it as a kid versus playing it as an adult it's just as challenging, it's just as fun, and it's just as rewarding.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Love that.
I quote it in my daily life, and nobody knows what I'm talking about. I just read it inside every day.
But you still giggle. It's fun.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the best.
So, last question we have for you is, if you could credit one person or experience from your past, which contributed, excuse me, I can never talk. Words are like hard for me. Which contributed to where you guys are at today, who or what would that be?
I can start.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100% my father. You know, huge influence, you know, kind of shaping me into the nerd that I am, you know, showing me when I was, you know, a little kid, Back to the Future and Ferris Bueller, and, you know, taught me how to use the computer, which would, you know, snowball into everything. Yeah, I owe him so much.
No.
Awesome.
I'd have to say a very similar answer of my parents showing me Zelda when I was probably about 2 years old. They sat me down in front of the TV and put the controller in my hands.
Oh.
And my dad always tells me the story of how he watched me like look down at the controller, press a button, look up at the screen, and see and see Link move. And then slowly over time, he said, I started to watch the TV and press the button and went, oh, that's how you do it. And it just kind of snowballed from there. So I really owe it to them, honestly. My mom was really big into Zelda. My dad was big into like other puzzle and like action games and stuff like that. But he plays a lot of strategy games. Like he got me into Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
And it's
and that was the decline of your life.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
Now you're struggling through college.
Yeah, no, it started as Magic and then it turned into Yu-Gi-Oh! And then from there it was just a mistake.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I don't have Pokemon cards laying around my desk right now.
I probably did too.
I have all three of those.
So before we wrap this up,
let's play a mixed deck game today.
Before we wrap this up, is there any advice for any, you know, either other up and coming artists or developers, game designers, or even someone who's never done that? Anybody that's part of game design? What would be like some advice that you guys would recommend for some of those people?
Start your research early.
Yeah.
Start like just reading articles like published by game designers. Start looking at like software and like development stuff, because Autodesk is one of the main companies that we use for our 3D modeling. Mm-hmm. All of their applications are free as long as you have a student account. If you just say you're a student, they just give it to you for free. Just don't post the stuff online and try to make money off of it. You can just use it and learn it for free.
Sweet.
Wow.
Whatever. So.
Yeah. On a related note.
Everybody's always learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a related note, you know, college is great, super helpful, but you don't need to wait. You should, you know, 10 years old, start getting those failures under your belt so that by the time you're in college, you're already a master game designer.
That's excellent points, both of them. Hey, well, it's
never too late to start, you know, too.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like you said, you know, Jake was literally with a controller in his hand at, you know, in diapers too. And he's, So I hope one day. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. We do appreciate you joining. A little bit about the game.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Well done. Like, wish you guys the best. Can't wait to actually play the final version. So,
and then is there a place where we can find, do you want to tell the viewers like where to find the current demo that's available?
Yeah, we actually have a Twitter account at Plaything Dev, which has a link to the itch page with our demo.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right. Well, cool. Thanks for having you guys. And obviously, you're part of the family now. So feel free to hang out anytime. And so that's what we have for this week. We do appreciate you guys watching. Obviously, if you like this video, click the like. If you want to leave a comment down below, I'm sure we could probably pass that information along to them as well. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to slap those down there. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Take it easy.
Thanks, guys.